Hey everybody, friends from around the world. Thanks for tuning into another video. We've made it, guys. Finally made it. After all this time, I'm finally here. I've been in China over a decade. I've always wanted to come here. Finally here. That's right, we are in Chongqing. Now there has been a big push. There's been a slew of videos trying to promote tourism to this area. And a lot of the videos are kind of propaganda-ish. And they pretty much all show the same things. And of course, I'm gonna be showing some of that stuff too, but I wanna really show you what it's like. And I'm gonna give you my first impressions, first evening in Chongqing. And I'll tell you, the first impression right here is that this is insanely crowded. And this is kind of cool. As you walk up these stairs, you've got these cool little Chinese fans. It's because in the daytime, it's gonna be like an inferno here. I already know it. Now, one thing to know about this whole region, I mean, Chongqing is basically an area where rivers run right through it and connect. It's an area surrounded by mountains. So you got rivers, mountains, you got a lot of beautiful nature, and you can sense the kind of hilly nature of the city just right here in the middle of town. I mean, look, I was up there and I'm coming down pretty quick. Definitely a really unique feel. Tons of people out, and it's interesting because no matter where you walk, it smells like hot pot. This is it, Chongqing's most famous place, Hongyadong, and it's right here on the Jialing River, which if you actually keep going down that way, before too long it connects with the Yangtze River. And it's pretty crazy because if you look at the Yangtze or Yangtze River on a map, here in Chongqing, it's the upper reaches of the river, but if you take it and keep going east, it'll flow through Wuhan, it'll flow through Nanjing, and then ultimately Shanghai, where it is a pretty epic night view. You've got to admit. And to be honest, you guys haven't seen anything yet. But if you want to get to the best views, you've got to work your way through this. So if you want to get to the best part, guys, you're going to have to work for it, you know? You're gonna have to brave the crowds because it's there's one word I can use to describe this. It's crowded. Think sardine can.
A few minutes later.
We're getting there, baby. We're getting there. We started way over there. Now we're over here.
A few minutes later.
And the journey continues. Oh.
A few minutes later.
We've braved the crowds. Now we're trying to get an elevator. I don't think I'm gonna make this one.
A few minutes later.
Well, when we first got to this place, you couldn't really see what it's all about. And the reason is because we were actually on top. And all that journey was to get down here to street level. You got the Jialing River over there. So this is what it looks like from street level. And basically, it's basically a replica of old style China. And it looks pretty amazing. It's the main tourist and kind of most iconic point here in Chongqing. I will say though, if you're exhausted and you are trying to do this, it's quite a crowd to work through. And it took me a couple minutes just to figure out even how to get outside of this whole complex. But this is it, Hongyadong. You've probably seen it in basically any Chongqing video that you've watched. It is a sight to behold. It's an interesting place. In Chinese, they would call it 热闹, which means lively and happening. So I'm glad I came, but it's not a place I would come to often just because you're fighting such a crowd. So actually, against my wishes, I'm going back in. I really don't want to, but I want to show you guys what it's like on the inside of this place. And you can see everybody doing these photo shoots from the different styles of dress from previous dynastic era China. But we're going back in. Because I can't just show you guys the outside, I've got to show you what the inside looks like as well. Hongyadong Folk Custom Store.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Just a quick message from yours truly, Mr. Chopsticks. Memberships are now open on my YouTube channel, and memberships start from as low as $1. Perks for being members include exclusive videos every week, unique emojis, loyalty badges, and shoutouts. Patreon memberships are also available. Patreon includes the same exclusive content as YouTube memberships, but also features everything from blog posts and photos from daily life to help with learning Chinese and trip planning assistance. If you want to take your support for the channel to the next level, please check it out. Links below. Okay, now back to the video.
And there are quite a few levels. I took the elevator down from the 9th floor, and there were at least a couple more floors on top of that, so. But on this level, it looks like there's a lot of clothes and a lot of costume design. You saw all those people outside doing the photo shoots, right? Well, here's where they get prepared for it. And then they go outside and pay their money and get their custom photo and show it to all their friends. So that's where all the costumes were. And just come out here to the stairwell. Back outside. We're gonna go up to the 3rd floor, see what this is all about. Whoa. Let's see what's happening up here on the 3rd floor. 3rd floor didn't look that interesting. Let's go ahead and skip that and move up here to the 4th floor, the Bayou Folk Food Street. Now this is more like it. I think you guys will be interested to see this level. 4th floor is food heaven. I gotta be honest, it smells so good walking through here. Probably doesn't help that I'm starving. So let's just walk through and see what kind of food they've got up here. So what kind of dining options. No shortage of them. A lot of different noodle types of things over here. Dumplings. And the prices, there's dandan mian, really spicy noodles for only 10 yuan. It's like $1.50 US. But you can see you're just literally surrounded by food up here. And if you need dessert, there you go. 哎，这个很香，我喝过这个，我特别喜欢。谢谢，不喝，谢谢。And oh, this is cool. This is the they call it di liao. It's for whenever you make a hot pot, you put this in the water to make the soup. Of course, these are the spicy ones if you want a really hot and spicy hot pot. So this is pretty cool to see it in the full block. Because usually when you buy it in the supermarket, they cut it into slivers and you just take a little hunk out and toss it into your hot pot. But here you can get it fresh made right from the source. A lot of photo shoots over here. They're killing it over here. Constant flow of customers. But I want to show you guys this view from up here of the street, so you can see just how crowded it is. It's truly insane. So you guys to catch a view of this. Look at that.
A few minutes later.
A few minutes later.
Finally, I've got a little breathing room. And I'm not gonna lie, that was cool back there, but that was so crowded that it feels good to get out of there. It's definitely worth checking out, it's worth seeing, but once you're kind of stuck in it, you can't get out. I haven't been in a crowd like that since I can't even remember when. But we're out of it now. Raffles City, there's another popular spot amongst tourists. I definitely just found the dude with the coolest strut in all of Chongqing. It's kind of John Travolta-esque. I'm following this dude. Now, why am I making the effort to walk all the way over here? Just to look at this spot of the river? Well, no. Actually, what you've got here, you've got the confluence of two rivers in China. You've got the Yangtze over here and the Jialing River. This is where they merge. So in terms of Chinese geography, this is a pretty significant location. So we've got the Jialing River over here, and then coming up from this way, which I can't get over there to show you guys, but coming up that way is the Yangtze River, or Changjiang as they say in Chinese. Now this is where they merge, and it's pretty interesting because if you look on a map, if you just follow this river, right now we're out here in southwestern China. If you follow this river, it will take you all the way through central China, run through several major cities like I mentioned earlier, Wuhan, Nanjing, and ultimately it will merge with the ocean in Shanghai. That's a long journey that this river makes, and you can take long distance riverboat cruises here. I'm back for round two, but I had to because now I'm across the street. We can get a better view of the entire complex from over here. You can't miss it, you know, if you're gonna come here, you can't miss it. But I can say that this is probably the last time, well, the first and last time I'll ever be here. It's one of those places, I'm glad I did it, but at the same time, I'm kind of crowd averse. I don't dig these really, really crowded places. The only reason I would probably come back is if I was traveling with a friend, and of course they would have to see this place, so I'd come with them. But otherwise, this is it. And I can check it off the list, but it is beautiful, isn't it? Another thing that this region is well known for, and this is not me saying it, guys, this is what Chinese people will tell you. They will tell you that this region is famous for having the most, or at least some of the most, arguably the most beautiful women in China. So I'm not gonna give too many of my personal thoughts, but you guys have been watching the video, so you can kind of let me know what you think. Actually, I take that back. I will give you my thoughts. I have to admit, I have seen some very, very attractive members of the opposite sex. I think I put that very gentlemanly, didn't I? It's kind of funny. I've eaten that very dish, Chongqing xiaomian, in so many places in China, but now this is like an actual legitimate one. I'll try it before I go. The streets are lined with sellers, but you can see I'm on the wrong side of them. It kind of works out nicely because I've got less people trying to sell me stuff. But yeah, they line literally the entire block. It just goes on and on and on. I'm gonna cut through next to this old gentleman here selling the fresh figs. I'm seeing something really weird here. I've seen this several places now. Foot bath from soaking your feet in hot pot soup. This isn't the first one I've seen of that. I've seen a couple of those now. That must actually be a thing here. I've had a hell of a time trying to get back to my hotel. It's within walking distance from here, but because this is basically the side of a cliff, if you don't know the area well, even if you look at the maps, the road's kind of cut off. I thought I could walk around, go in that direction. Turns out I couldn't. So it looks like the only way that I know to do it is to basically put in that work. Started from ground level, going up all these stairs, and we just keep going up and climbing that Great Wall. Coming off the cliff face, you got a little mini waterfall kind of thing, and some interesting signs. Caution, falling rocks. The layout of this city is really interesting. Oh look, maybe I can climb. I don't think so. Well, one thing about this way is you do get some pretty good views at the end. We're way up here. I just walked a lot of distance, a lot of steps, but in terms of actual distance on a map, I went basically nowhere. I just basically went straight up. Now we're on the upper level. It's like another city up here, you know? Life goes on, you got businesses and restaurants. We've made it to the top of the cliff. So now, all these roads should be connected and stuff. So yeah, wow, what a unique detour. There's a hot pot place there. I mean, I love hot pot, don't get me wrong, and I plan to try it, but I don't really want it tonight. But everything I look at is just, it's either noodle shop or a hot pot place. I know there's a lot of really great food up here, but like there's another noodle place. Hot pot place, hot pot place. I really would like to see, I'm just surprised that there's not just like a restaurant that has different types of dishes and things. Because all I'm literally seeing is noodle shops and hot pot shops by the dozens. Okay, so after all that searching, I told you guys in this particular area, it's either hot pot or noodles. So I decided to get Chongqing xiaomian, which is just it's a type of Chongqing noodle dish. It's their most famous noodle dish. I've really enjoyed it in other places. And of course I had to get a local beer. They call their local beer Shancheng beer. It means mountain city beer if you translate it. Now it is brewed by Carlsberg Chongqing, but it's still their local beer. It's got ground meat, and this is ground pork. It's got a type of bean in here, some veggies. And I asked them to go a little bit light on the spiciness level because, you know, this area is known for very spicy food. So, you know, I don't want to be sick tomorrow. So I went with a light amount of spiciness. And you can see on the bottom, there's still quite a bit of chili oil. And I've got to say, I'm glad I got light on the spice because that is spicy. But it really does taste great. Now let's get into this local beer, guys. So cheers to everybody watching this video. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. This toast is to you. Pop a top. Cheers, guys. All right, guys. That is going to end day 1 or day 0, you could call it, because it wasn't a full day. But this was my arrival in Chongqing. I think you could get a pretty good feel of my first impressions. The only real issue that I had was basically not knowing how to get back to where I needed to go. And that's not Chongqing's fault, that's my fault, because I'm a newbie. But to put it explicitly, my first impressions of Chongqing is that the place is f***ing awesome. Another town, another day, where this road's going. It's hard to say. All I know is I gotta keep going. But where it ends, nobody really knows. So come with me. Hey everybody, now this is the second chapter in my Chongqing adventure, and I'm here at another spot that's common amongst tourists, you know, international and domestic tourists. This is called Jiefang Bay Pedestrian Street. Now if you watch my travel videos, you will know that regardless of what city I go to in China, I always go to the pedestrian street just because it's a great place to people watch. There's plenty of food options. It's a great place to meet people. And there are usually pretty good vibes at any pedestrian street in China. I mean, you can see this, you've got people out taking pictures, they're doing shopping, eating. I won't be spending too much time here, but I definitely wanted to check it out while I'm here. A lot of people posing for photo ops next to this tower. So if you were here traveling and you didn't know what to do, this would be a great place to come, you know, maybe get started. And in the daytime, it's still going to be, you know, pretty happening here. But when this place really comes to life is at night. Everything lights up, and I've read people comparing it to like Times Square or something like that, and it will really light up. But yeah, apparently in this one little area right here, they've got like over 3,000 shops of all types. One thing I will say that kind of differentiates this pedestrian area from a lot of others in China is that this is it's more of a wide open area, kind of like a square, whereas a lot of pedestrian streets in China are just that. It's a pedestrian street. This is like several streets and some big wide open areas, all kind of connected. Okay, now here's a place that they're advertising as basically Food City. And I'll tell you, I love food from this region. I love Sichuan cuisine, but I'll be honest, I've had a hard time finding anything besides noodle shops and hot pots. Which of course is not a bad thing, but it's a little bit overkill, I think, because I walked around a long time yesterday I've been walking around a little while today, and I've only seen hot pot and noodle shops, but I think this place might have some different options as well. Well, I take that back. Never mind. The only food, I mean, they've got dumpling places and stuff, but I want to have local cuisine. They do have some Sichuan food over here, but it's just like it's been sitting there. It's not what I'm looking for. I want more fresh, authentic experience. So yeah, this place was we took a swing and we had a big miss. Well, I took a taxi to try to go to a restaurant called Lao Chongqing and get some local food. Well, the one he took me to was under construction, so they were closed. So he suggested I come here. I was here last night, Raffles City. Just on the other side of this is where the Jialing River meets the Yangtze River. It's kind of funny, I was in the taxi. The taxi driver was a really nice guy. I could tell he was a gentle-natured kind of guy. He was nice, and we were chatting, and he was kind of surprised that I could speak to him so easily in Chinese. And one of the questions he asked me where I'm from. I said I'm from America, and he said, "Do you like your country?" I've been asked that quite a few times, especially more and more these days. That didn't used to be a question years ago in China. They didn't really ask you, do you like your country? I mean, imagine that, bumping into a Chinese person in the States, and you know, in the first 2 minutes of conversation, you know, well, where are you from? China? Oh, do you like your country? It's just one of those things. If somebody's being kind of rude and has an attitude problem and asks me that, I'll be kind of a smart ass when I answer it. But this guy was being nice. He didn't mean anything by it. Okay, well, I'm in a unique situation because I'm in Chongqing right now. I tried to go to a restaurant that specializes in local foods. They were closed. So then I was brought here. I agreed. Come to the first floor, he says. They've got all types of foods. Well, here's a Hong Kong style restaurant, Cantonese restaurant. I saw a KFC over there. But, you know, the one thing, I don't know what's going on here, but it seems surprisingly hard to find any Sichuan or Chongqing dishes that are anything besides some kind of noodles like Chongqing xiaomian or hot pot. I've spent literally now like probably 2 hours between last night and today searching. Haven't found it. I mean, if somebody had told me before coming here, you're gonna go to Chongqing but not be able to find any local food besides hot pot noodles, I just wouldn't be able to believe them. You know, it sounds absurd, but I'll tell you what, maybe I spoke too soon, because I did just find a food court. It looked promising down there, but turns out it was a bust. I mean, they've got plenty of good foods and stuff, but they didn't have a place where I could just sit down and look at some different local foods. So finally found the kind of place I was looking for. Just a normal little restaurant that has a variety of dishes. A little mom and pop's place. So I ordered something that everybody's heard of. It's kind of almost a cliche dish at this point. In the West, we call it kung pao chicken, but that dish originally comes from here. So we're gonna try the authentic one here. So you can go to your local Chinese carryout place and all of them are gonna have kung pao chicken. Well, the thing about that dish is that it originated from this region of China. And so I like it. It's one of those dishes that's really hit and miss. Sometimes it's so good, sometimes it's actually not good at all. But I did want to try it here at the source. We got bits of chicken in there, cucumber, peanut, Chinese leek. I'll tell you, this is pretty good. Here we are on the subway here in Chongqing, and you can see the rush. Everybody wants to get a seat. If you look at the name of this park in English, it's going to be kind of hard to pronounce. E-L-I-N-G. You might say something like Eling or Eling, but it's called Eling Park, and that means literally like Goose Ridge Park. That's where we are now. One thing I've noticed about the Chongqingese, or the people of Chongqing, fans are a big thing here, and understandably so because it's so hot. I think the restaurant issue I was having earlier was just specific to the area that I was in, because now I'm over here by the park and I've passed a whole slew of restaurants that all have all kinds of different foods. Well, after my terrible sleep last night, I needed a quick pick-me-up, so decided a war horse would be the right one for the job. And we are just entering the park right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Goose Ridge Park. I'll tell you, this warhorse is really hitting the spot. It's basically just their version of like a Monster or a Red Bull or something like that. But look, here we go. Nice little pond, some goldfish out there. Well, you might not see any real geese at Goose Ridge, but at least you'll see these. All right, here it is. The jewel of Eling Park. Well, I don't have one of those step counters, but I'm definitely getting my steps in for today. Got them in yesterday too. All right, it's official. I have conquered the Goose Ridge Pagoda. Give you guys a good 360-degree view of Chongqing. You can really see that this is the river and mountain city from up here. And now I'm back over here to my neck of the woods. It's time for a nap. I've got to recharge the battery a little bit. Like I said, I didn't really sleep much last night. It's hotter than hell out here. So this was Act 1 for today. Gonna rest for a bit, but we've still got Act 2 coming up and a lot more good times ahead. It's not a bad view just from the subway. We're here on line number 2, just cruising along, and you can catch a pretty killer view. Now obviously, like I said, we are getting some amazing scenery from this subway ride, but there's another reason why I'm taking this subway, and you're gonna find out really, really soon. And for some of you all, especially if you have watched videos about Chongqing before, you might see something that you recognize. Let's just put it that way. So this is the station that you always see where the train goes through the building, Liziba. And when you come out, I mean, you usually see it from the outside, but you don't usually see what it looks like on the inside. So this is it. Looks pretty normal. You wouldn't really feel that you're running through the middle of a building or something like that. You come over, you can catch a pretty good view. And of course, you've got all the spectators down on the ground level. You're gonna have tons of people getting their photo ops and stuff like that. So we just, hello. We just came down from there, and when we come down into this area, kind of see what it looks like. Well, they've really got this place set up to maximize business, because in order to leave the building to get out here to the, the photo op area, you've got to go through this shopping area. And one thing that was kind of surprising, since I don't live here, I don't have like a train pass that I can just scan. I have to, pay the money, and it gives me a little card, and then I insert the card when I arrive at the station, and it keeps the card, lets me out. But when I got here, I put the card in, and it kept the card, but it didn't let me out. And the girl that was working here was kind of trying to act like I made a mistake, and I said, did you hear what I said? I put the card in and it didn't open. And she went, oh. And I said, so is this machine broken or what? And she went, yeah. It's kind of surprised, a pretty poor attitude from her. Also, I will add that while this train station is quite unique, it's definitely an interesting aesthetic. It's not very practical, because in order for me to get out of this building and get down here to the ground level, I had to go down several flights of stairs because we were pretty high up. So to use this station, whether you're arriving here or departing from here, it's not all that convenient getting up to the area where you actually board the train. I see a lot of people here, ground level, getting their pictures, and of course, I'm one of them. Here comes the train. So we're starting from outside. You start from the ground level, you come in, and then you've got to see that, I want you guys to see the process. Hello. I want y'all to see the process of what it's like, because it's kind of a journey going from ground level all the way up to where the train is. Not the most convenient thing that I've ever seen. Here we are, we went up one floor, now we're going up another. See, if you're in a hurry, you might be SOL. And here we go again. Going up to the third floor. We're going up to the fourth floor. Now, we're going up to the fifth floor. You see, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's, you know, it's kind of tedious. And here we go again. Heading up to the sixth floor. And then once you're up here on the sixth floor, you can see there's line 2. So you just come in here, swing over, get your ticket, get it from these machines. A lot of cities in China tend to have one pedestrian street. Well, guess what? Chongqing has at least 2 big ones. Earlier you saw one of the big ones, and that was called Jiefengbei. Now this is the other pedestrian street here in Chongqing, and this is called Guanjianglou Pedestrian Street. And from what I've kind of gathered online, it seems like there's sort of a thought amongst the locals that this is the pedestrian street where the locals come. And the other one, Jiefengbei, is where basically where the tourists go. So I wanted to check out both of the pedestrian streets and see what the difference is, see what the different vibes are, and see which one I personally prefer. Here we are coming to a food street. So as soon as you walk in, I mean, you can see there's plenty to eat. It's just finding that right thing, you know? All right, guys, we're back here at Jiefengbei. This is where the day started. This is where today's video started, right here. And at night, you can see it looks totally different. The atmosphere really comes out. More people are out. So the final verdict, I think I'm gonna have to go with the locals on this one. I enjoyed the atmosphere over at Guanjianglou better than here. All right, finally we're getting real legit Chongqing hot pot. All right, guys, I've got everything. The hot pot's rolling. I know this is crazy for one person, right? But they don't have a small pot. You got to get a big one. So here we've got some basically like shrimp paste. We've got some beef over there, some sausage back there. Here we've got some blood. I forgot which animal that's from. Tofu, some seaweed back here, potato, and then last but not least, cow stomach and duck intestines. So I'm gonna dig in and got a Chongqing beer here for you guys. I wanna give a toast to everybody who's been enjoying the videos, sticking with me, supporting my work, and just hanging out. I'm really glad to have you guys here, so I want to give all you guys a big cheers. Good morning, guys. We're still here in Chongqing, but we're about to head to a different place. If you want to know where that is, you're gonna have to subscribe to the channel to see where I end up next. The one thing I'm running short of right now is time, so I gotta make some quick moves, get to the station, otherwise it's gonna be close. But I think if I hurry, I can make it. Shapingba railway station. This is basically a Chongqing West station because it's in the western part of Chongqing. They've got a high-speed railway out here. Okay, here it is. Shapingba station. Nice weather today. Whew. and I'm starting to sweat. This is a smallish kind of train station by Chinese standards. This is like just like a little, kind of like a small rural branch is about what this looks like, because a lot of train stations in China, especially ones with the high-speed railway, are absolutely massive. Damn, this was close, guys. I'm very glad that I made it. It was, let's just put it this way. If I was 2 or 3 minutes later, I wouldn't be making this train. And I came here by subway, so just kind of up in the air. And luckily I made it. And the whole reason that I'm running behind schedule, kind of embarrassed, I don't even really want to tell you guys, but as you know, Chongqing food is very spicy, right? Well, I treated myself to a Chongqing hot pot last night, which was very spicy, and as a result this morning, my stomach was just a little bit off. So I prepared to go early, but I just couldn't get out of the damn bathroom. Was it the mountains, all the sunshine, the chilies, or the beer? Something's going on way down here. Was it the rivers, or your brown eyes, or the way you smiled at me? Well, too bad there ain't enough time to see. 'Cause there's a train about to leave this town. Final call, then we're down the tracks. But what if I just turned around and came running back? Ain't it funny when you think about life? Things can change in the blink of an eye. Hey everybody, we are here for my first time ever in the capital of Sichuan Province, China, a city called Chengdu. We're just arriving. We're here at the West Station. As you can see, there's a lot of commotion, a lot of people. And we are working our way, slowly but surely, toward the subway. So sit back, buckle up, and I'm glad to have you guys along for the ride. Well, from the looks of things, it's a little bit crowded here. Now that is what I call a crowded subway, folks. Here we are at my stop, and when you first come in, you see the 12 core socialist values plastered up on the wall. My very first sights of Chengdu. This is it. As soon as I stepped out of the subway tunnel, I venture out into the unknown, and this is what it looks like. Well, first impressions. I don't really have much to say. You know, I haven't seen anything yet, but I can talk about the temperature because I just left Chongqing, which is basically just next door. I mean, Chongqing used to be a part of Sichuan. But one thing I'm noticing since arriving here is that it is noticeably cooler and less humid than Chongqing. We got the cops out here doing their checks on e-bike drivers, trying to make them stop to check to make sure they're legal. If they're not, they'll get their bikes confiscated. But yeah, they're out in full effect today. It's pretty interesting to see. This is just like a courtyard in a community down here. Homes with quite an impressive natural garden and just the trees and the bushes and flowers. It looks awesome. All right, you all, I did not have breakfast today. I'm starving. It's already mid-afternoon, and so I'm waiting on some food. I'm gonna get some good, authentic, local Sichuan food from a little mom and pop shop here. And of course, had to get a cold beer with it. And this is what I was told that the locals drink here. It's just a Snow beer. That's a brand called Snow. And you can get it all over China, but this was brewed here in Sichuan Province. So, pop it top. I got the green pepper 回锅肉, which is sliced pork. That looks spicy. It smells delicious though. All right, all my food is here now. We've got the green chilies and 回锅肉, and we've got the mapo tofu, which of course I've had a million times, but I've never had the real thing. So we're about to try it. There's no way I'm gonna be able to finish all this, but you know, the portions, they only come in this one size. So, you know, I wanted to try more than one dish here, and I'm glad I tried these. These are so good. But I mean, I'm already getting full. I'm gonna do as much damage to these as I possibly can, but. All right, guys, welcome to People's Park, Renmin Gongyuar, right here in the heart of Chengdu City. And you're in for quite a cultural experience coming in here. I can see this park is pretty lively. There's a lot of people hanging out. Now, people's parks are pretty common in China. You can pretty much find one in any city that you go to. I mean, if you've lived in China before, let me know in the comment section. Did your city have a people's park? I bet that it probably did. But although the name is the same, the park itself is quite different. Well, this looks kind of cool. What is behind the wall? Let's see. A beautiful bamboo forest. Nice. Pure natural bamboo. And I've seen this just growing around. So if you're down here in Sichuan Province, you will see bamboo just growing out anywhere. This is its natural habitat, by the way. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've always loved the aesthetic of bamboo. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always loved it. Now, just before I came in the park, I didn't record this, but there was a little girl throwing a fit. It was so extreme, in fact, that I went over to have a look to see what was going on, because she was letting out screams of death. She was probably about 7 or 8 years old. Turns out she was throwing a fit like that because her parents were ready to go home and she didn't want to leave the park. And it's normal for kids to put up a little bit of a fuss, you know, if they don't want to leave, they might cry. But this was a different level. I've never heard a kid react like this. So if you're new young parents out there, let that be a lesson. That's one clear example of why it's not good to over spoil your kids. What's going on down by the water? This is where the magic happens. A very relaxing theme right here on the water. Well, there's quite a lot going on over here. Of course, they've got the food and drinks over here. There's some chicken feet. Not sure what that is the head of, but it's the head of something. That's a lot of people, my goodness. It's interesting to see because I've seen this same placard in the far north of China and the far east of China, and now we're down here basically kind of in the southwest. Again, it's the 12 core socialist values, and the Chinese government wanted this put all over the country as a constant reminder to the people. And literally anywhere you go in China, you will see these 12 core values posted. I'm going to show you guys something really interesting right now. What you've got here is basically a little love market. People have advertisements of themselves written describing themselves, what kind of partner they're looking for, and each one of these papers is basically an application for somebody that reads the paper and likes what they see. So it's kind of interesting. They have a lot of these across China, these little marriage market type of things. So it's pretty interesting, huh? You just you're reading somebody's application and you choose them based on this. I've known that these exist. I've seen videos of them, but I've never actually been to one of these. So this is my first time. But it's a lot of applications. It'd be kind of nice if they'd at least put a picture on it too, so you could, you know, see what the person looks like. But everything here is so photoshopped anyway, and they always use filters and stuff. You wouldn't be looking at the real person anyway. And mixed in with the love is, of course, a Beijing bikini. It's kind of a cool bench though. It's all wavy and very interesting. Yeah, this is it, marriage market. So the pink ones are for the females, female applications. And then over here you've got the guys on the blue paper. So the women or their parents or grandparents can come over here, read these applications. Oh, this one's actually got a picture. That's cool. And then if they read something they like, they'll tell their daughter or their niece or friend, and that's how it works. Oh, awesome. Here's another guy playing the erhu. If you watched my video on Fuzhou, you would have seen an older man playing the traditional Chinese instrument. I like the sound of that. You know, one thing I've learned about traveling is that whichever country I go to, I have a tendency to like their traditional music. And it's the same with the United States. I like traditional American music. It's interesting looking down on this community, and you can see on the rooftops what people have going on. They're hanging their clothes out to dry, and they've got a bunch of flowers and shrubs and bushes and even some trees. And you can see all of the foliage around here. It's very lush. And you see all of these bicycles right here. These are all public bikes that you can rent. You can scan a code. They've got a code you can scan there and rent it. You just pay through your phone. Would you believe in all my time in China, I have never rented one of these. Maybe one day. Right now we are smack dab in the middle of Chengdu City. There you've got the Sichuan Science and Technology Museum, and out front you've got Chairman Mao waving out into the distance. Now, which direction is he waving? Well, let's see. That's right, he is waving to Tianfu Square. This is a big square right in the heart, literally right in the middle of Chengdu City. Interesting, I'm here literally as the lights are turning on, and this place really is gonna light up at night. The weirdest thing is they've got this square blocked off from the front. I mean, literally. Of course I could get past this, but I don't want to look rude. But I mean, look, I'm on the sidewalk, and then they're just blocking it off right here for no apparent reason. Now, a lot of locals are just going under it or over it. Now, for me, I'm going to do it the way you're supposed to, and let's see how far I have to walk out of the way, just because they decided to block off this very natural front entrance. Okay, I just want you to see this. Okay, so it looks like we can get in here. They do have a surprisingly large police presence here. These little booths over here and officers everywhere, but you can see it really lights up at night. And the darker it gets, the more beautiful it's gonna be. Everything's gonna light up. And they will have a water show here as well. It is a really nice square though, I'll give it that. Very wide open space. Really chill atmosphere. Clean and modern. Nice skyline behind it, and then you can just look right down in here to the lower level. Shopping area. From out here you can really get an idea of how big and expansive the square is. All right, now we're here at Chunxilu, or Chunxi Pedestrian Street. It's a major pedestrian street right here in the very center of Chengdu City. And you know, pedestrian streets are always fun, they're always interesting. So I'm just gonna do a walkthrough, kind of walk around a little bit, see what we see. And of course, since we're in Sichuan, we've got to have the obligatory panda. Right on. And if you guys follow my channel, you've heard me talk about pedestrian streets a lot. Well, this is basically the big one here in Chengdu. You know, it's always a great starting point when you're traveling, because when you're out here, you're just surrounded by people. You're gonna bump into people. You'll probably have people come up to you and say hello and start a conversation with you. That is a common occurrence, and they'll do it in English. So yeah, even if you're bored, you don't know what to do, just find a pedestrian street, go out and walk around. Like I said, you'll always see something, you know. We just saw a guy back there playing some music, and then we swing over here and we have another musician. Let's go check him out. Food court type of area over here. Let's walk through and see what kind of goodies they've got for us. Now we're getting over here to the good stuff. These are always pretty good. And in here you can see one food stall after the next all the way down. These places are always fun to come, especially if you're hungry. Just come and, you know, see something, you don't know what it is, try it. You see something that looks good, try it. You see something that looks bad, try it. The one thing I'm scared to try is that. It's stinky tofu. Not a fan of that. I've tried it before, I gave it a fair shake, but not a fan of it. But yeah, it just goes on and on. All different fruit drinks and stuff. Hey, Neil. Hey, hello. Hello. Hey guys, I usually wouldn't do this when I'm traveling, but you see that right there? It says Domino's Pizza. And I'm gonna eat that tonight because there aren't many places in China where you can get Domino's, at least not the places I go. And I need to give my intestines and stomach a little bit of break from all this spicy food. So here we are at Domino's. Didn't realize I was gonna have a new friend in here. Come here, buddy. Yeah, look at that. He's a cute little boy. This guy's giving away some free samples of some kind of bread, looks like sweet bread. And these people are coming from all areas and just attacking it. I mean, I've seen some of these people go for several pieces now. They're getting a free dessert over here. My Domino's pepperoni pizza is served. It's funny the things you start to miss when you're away from home for a long time. See that dude on the right that's kind of walking away now, the dude in the black? I sat here and watched that guy eat over 10 pieces. He's been hanging around the whole time and he's still hanging around. And I'm not even exaggerating. I've seen him have over 10 pieces. You see that big panda sculpture up there on that IFS building? That's like a really iconic place here that people like freak out over, and you can see they've got a little photo thing set up over there for people to get pictures with the panda in the background. Different cities have different convenience stores, and the interesting thing I've seen about Chengdu is that theirs is called Hongqi, which means red flag, and they write Hongqi chain. They translate the last part Liansuo, but they don't translate Hongqi, which so it should be red flag chain. But yeah, that's Chengdu's little convenience store. It's just like a Lawson's or a little 7-Eleven, you know, same thing. Red flag. Well guys, my first day in Chengdu, I've had a great time, but it's just getting started because there's a lot more to come. I didn't see no pandas. Well, that's just the truth. Cute, cuddly, furry creatures down in Chengdu. But you know I had a good time. I even made a friend or two. Ain't it funny how time flies? Way down south, way down here, down in Chengdu. Hot chilies and hotter women. Well,
Lord, you know it's true. I'm digging this Sichuan living down in Chengdu, 'cause you know I had a good time, a real good time with you. Ain't it funny how time flies? Way down south, way down here, down in Chengdu.
We are continuing my adventures in Sichuan Province. Now today I'm in Chengdu, which is the capital of the province. Now, yesterday we had some fun, checked out some cool places, and basically today we're just gonna do more of that. So welcome along for the ride. Glad to have you guys aboard. Let's do it. It's looking kind of crowded today. Let's see if I can squeeze in here. Pretty crowded. Okay, so we just took the subway to get over here, Sanguantang Station. And as soon as you come out of the station, you see the Jinjiang, or you could call it the Jin River, just flowing. And just opposite that is Wangjianglou Park. And like a lot of you know, bamboo grows naturally here in Sichuan Province, China. And I love bamboo, I always have. And this park has a lot of bamboo, and I mean a lot, and we're gonna check it out. But first, we've got to get some food because, again, I decided to skip breakfast. I was busy working on a few things. Also, I wanted to give my intestines just a little time to heal, so I just mostly chugged some water, had a bit of coffee, and right now I'm feeling pretty good. So yeah, when you get off the subway here at Sanguantang, this is what it looks like. And then basically you just find a place to cross down that way, and you're right over there. You can see a little bridge over there. Just cross that and you're basically there at the park. Yeah, so over here just off the subway station, there's looks like there's a few different restaurant options. I don't know what we'll find, but I have to say the subway system, or as some people call it, the metro, here in Chengdu is extremely convenient. You can get anywhere you need to go. It's fast, it's smooth, and it's dirt cheap. All right, so we're getting our first meal of the day. And what this is, basically, it's green peppers and strips of pork cooked together with whatever seasoning they want, with some rice here. And in Chinese, if you want to get this dish, you can just say qingjiao rou si. It's gonna have a little kick to it, but it's usually not too spicy. It's usually just right. Now, I'm not sure about this, but I know the name of this river is the Jin River, or Jinjiang. There's also a budget hotel chain all across China with the exact same name, Jinjiang Hotel. Same exact Chinese characters. There's a chance it might be named after this river right here. We've got a live streamer over here. All right, now we're coming in through the south entrance, and the reason I'm doing that is because the north entrance requires an admission ticket. I believe it costs about 20 yuan or something like that, so about $3. It's not much, but I'm just not really, you know, that interested. It's got a pagoda of historical significance and some other historical things. So I'm not coming to this park for the historical aspect. I'm coming to this park to see the bamboo and to see the scenery, which already looks awesome. And of course, when you first walk in, like I've shown in several of my other videos, you're greeted with a big placard of the 12 core values of socialism. So I'm literally just entering this place from the southern part, and you can see there is definitely a lot of bamboo. Some of these are a little bit thicker than what I'm used to seeing. And one thing I learned while doing a little bit of just very surface level research about this place is that there are a lot of different varieties of bamboo, which I had no idea about. I thought bamboo was pretty much just bamboo. I mean, I guess I knew there would be a few different varieties, but when I say there are a lot of different varieties, like I've heard that this park, just right here in this park, for example, they have upwards of about 400 different varieties of bamboo, many of which are native to Sichuan or other parts of China. And they've also brought in some different varieties of bamboo from abroad and planted them here in this park to flourish. And it tells you the different type of bamboo that you're looking at. Yeah, any videos I saw of people coming to this place or talking about this park, it was basically all the same opinion, the same sentiment, that this is
if not the best park in Chengdu, definitely one of them. I would say for my money, it's probably going to be the best. I'm not going to visit all the parks, but I just really like bamboo and the aesthetic of it. I've always had an interest in Asia, even since I was a little kid. I think a lot of it came from the movie The Karate Kid, and I know I'm not the only one that can say that. I think that movie planted the seed for a lot of us. And of course, that had me more interested in Japan. But just the strong association of bamboo with Asia is always there. So when I see it, I just think it's beautiful. It's really unique amongst foliage because, you know, the way it looks. And then, you know, you can eat it when it's just a bamboo shoot. But then you touch it and it's just hard as a rock. In China, you'll see a lot of building and construction companies that use bamboo for scaffolding. It's pretty crazy, but that's what they do. You can see it grows in these clusters. Here you can see some of these shoots really clearly. Over there you've got some like thicker ones that grow really, really tall. And then you've got a different variety over here that's very, very slim. The Slim Jim of the bamboo family.
Step into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah!
Bambusa flexuosa Munro. You got a really cool form of calligraphy here where they get these big brushes and they just dip it in water and practice their calligraphy or just write things on the ground with really nice style writing. You can see, I mean, you can tell this guy is very skilled. His calligraphy is very good. And this really is a sweet location for this bamboo park because over here you've got the park, and then if you just look over here, you've got the Jin River just flowing on by. A lot of nice relaxing scenery here. Hear all the birds chirping, and just a good place to walk around. Maybe come here to just sit on a bench, read a book, bring a cup of coffee or something like that. Now, depending on what time of the year it is, you might need that to be an iced coffee. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying this place. Here's something pretty interesting. I don't even know what the name of this is, but you guys think you could do it? That guy's pretty good. All right, Wangjianglou. It's been a good time. I've enjoyed it, but it's time to move on and see some other sights. Great park, highly recommended. All right, guys, on to the next stop. It's starting to run a little hot, so I needed to get an ice cold Pocari Sweat. It's really replenishing me on a hot day like this. When you're in the shade, it's okay, but when you're out in the sun, it's a scorcher. It's 35 degrees Celsius right now. No, don't do it. Don't do it. It's a trap. It's a trap. No, actually, it is a trap. Taking you guys right into a tourist trap. Huh, hope everybody's okay. This is a trap, guys. Not a dangerous one. Well, maybe dangerous for your bank account because everything here will be overpriced. We are in one of Chengdu's main tourist traps called Kuanzhai Alley. And what this area is basically a restoration slash replica of Qing era China, which was the last of many dynasties throughout Chinese history. And some of these were original buildings that have been restored, but a lot of them are just completely rebuilt. Big tourist trap. It's a place where pretty much anybody who comes to Chengdu to visit is gonna end up here. I was in the neighborhood. This place wasn't very high on my list, but I figured, hey, I'm already basically there. Why not just do a quick walkthrough? At the very least, it'll show you guys what it's actually like. And this Kuanzhai Alley, what Kuanzhai means in English is wide and narrow. So it literally translates as like wide and narrow alleys. And you can see over here, this would be one of the wide alleys, I guess if you could call it an alley. One of the wide roads. Okay, we're entering one of the narrow alleys. Cool atmosphere, interesting aesthetics, good place to people watch and just kind of look around. If you've got nothing to do, you don't really know what to do, you can always just go on a little walk through here. Can't really go wrong with that. Now they do have a ton of the local Chengdu snacks and stuff here. But the thing is, since it's a tourist trap, everything's going to be overpriced. That being said, even at an overpriced price, it will still be pretty reasonable for most Western travelers. And tucked down this quaint, quiet little alleyway, we have Ding's Coffee. But old Ding is going to be facing some stiff... That must be Ding right there. Not sure what to make of that. What do you guys think? Does that look like a local Chengdu person to you? Or let me know what you think in the comment section below. Okay, that's Ding from Ding's Coffee. Now, they're gonna face some stiff competition because just next door, you've got one of the world's most overrated cafes. Overpriced as well. Mediocre coffee, woke company, not a fan. But yes, Starbucks is here. Head-to-head competition with Ding. Now, what exactly do we have going on here? The dance of the hypnotic rabbits. And when you walk down the street, they'll give you free teas to try.
Jasmine tea.
Jasmine tea. Oh, 谢谢.
Jasmine green tea.
Oh, let's try some jasmine tea. Yeah, pretty good. We'll do a walkthrough. I'll show you guys some of the snacks. Now, I knew the stinky tofu or cho tofu was over here. I smelled it like a block away. It absolutely reeks. Oh, it's just rancid. But sometimes, you know, things that smell bad, sometimes they have a good taste. Some cheeses smell bad, but, you know, and they taste good. So don't be scared to try cho tofu if you come to China. Let's look at some of these snacks that they've got here. The one thing that surprised me is here. One thing that kind of surprised me about Chengdu, well, I saw online that at least a couple of their local dishes have rabbit meat. And I was just walking around one day and I saw these heads, like I've seen duck heads in China, chicken heads, but I saw a different type of head, and you can see it right here with these teeth. Those are rabbit heads, okay? So that's kind of visually it's not that appealing, but skewers, fish skewers, wow, I've never seen that before. So if you had an empty stomach, you could just walk through here and try snack after snack. Or the stinky tofu. This is stinky tofu, the black and white one here. Now, I'm not usually a sucker for cute things, but these are pretty f***ing cute. You gotta be honest. Check this out. These ladies here doing the... Wow, beautiful. What the hell? Qing Dynasty had Dairy Queen? That can't be right. I need to fact check that on Wikipedia. Alright, I'm gonna make a little turn down this alley. Start heading back. I can't take much more of this. I mean, it's a cool place and all. It's just hot, it's crowded, and I'm really tired. I need to get back, catch a quick nap, followed by a shower, and then come out in the evening for Act 2 of today. Yeah, this area seems a lot quieter over here. So this is pretty interesting because over here, you know, you've got this tourist area trying to preserve some of the feelings and remnants from the Qing Dynasty. And then just over here, you've got apartment blocks where people live. You can see, you can hear them working in there. It would be kind of an interesting place to live and to be able to look down on this, wouldn't it? Because, I mean, you get a lot of tourists here. I haven't seen a ton of foreign tourists here in Chengdu, but just here at this place, I saw a couple of pretty big groups, probably like 20 Western tourists, which these days in China is pretty rare to see that because Western tourism is way down in China. Now these guys ain't playing on a day as hot as today to be doing this. That'd be rough. All right, we came out of this place finally. And then just across, we've got a really big, interesting looking elementary school. And just when you thought things couldn't get any cuter, There's another place that specializes in rabbit head, and just over here there's another place as well. Over here you can see they've got different rabbit parts. Hey guys, it's dinner time. I'm starving, so let's go get something to eat. China's got a food ordering app called Meituan or Meituan, and I just got a valuable lesson about it today because I was looking up some restaurants through that app, and I could find their address and see their menu, the restaurant name, and I found a restaurant that had a very impressive looking video on it. It looked like a nice place. They had all these dishes, and it gave me the exact address. So what I did, instead of ordering for delivery, I decided to come to the actual restaurant. Well, when I got here, I realized it doesn't even have the same name. It's not even really a restaurant. This is it right here. Just a real small place. And so basically they got a fake name on that app, and I came here looking for a nice dining experience, and that's what I saw. They make the stuff, they make it look good on the app, and then you order it. You think you're getting it from like a nice restaurant. Then you get there, and the restaurant has a completely different name. And it's basically like, I like hole-in-the-wall restaurants, little mom and pop places. A lot of the times those have the best foods. I don't mind that. But they straight up lied and misled. And I mean, if there ever was a case of false advertising, that would be it. And that place looks pretty rough. You know, that's not what I was looking for tonight. Yeah, damn, that was really misleading. I just double checked, and yeah, that was a straight up lie. They had videos on the Meituan app showing this nice looking restaurant, and when you get there, there is no restaurant. There's just literally a hole in the wall with like one old halfway broken table. Like I said, you know, I like eating at small restaurants. A lot of times they're the hidden gems or the best food, but also a lot of times they have the lowest standards in terms of hygiene and cleanliness, and I'm not trying to get sick during this trip. And the reason I chose that location specifically is it's kind of out of the way. It's away from a bunch of the main like pedestrian streets and tourist areas. So I thought it'd be a cool experience to try to kind of get off the beaten path a little bit, get a really local, authentic experience. And let's just say it turned out to be a whole lot more local than I wanted. All right, I didn't have time to play around with looking for another restaurant. I came to Chongqing Pedestrian Street again because they got so many restaurants, and I don't have time to, you know, look around for trying to find a local, authentic place. Yeah. So I knew here would be a safe bet, and so we're gonna get some good, legit Sichuan food right now. Dinner is here. We're gonna have some more Sichuan cuisine. Now, this is a unique take on a dish that I love. It's one of my favorite Chinese dishes when cooked right. Now, it's called Liziba. Usually it has chicken, it's got peanuts, it's got dried red chili peppers. You can see this one is different from based on what I'm seeing here. It's got, you know, red and green chili peppers, which are not the dried type. This is gonna be spicy as hell. The chicken is the same as usual. It's got the peppercorns here, you can see. And it looks like it has lotus root, chopped lotus root in here as well. You know, so it's fair game to try because this is a Sichuan dish. This is one of their spins on it. And I'm in Sichuan Province, so it's fair game. It's their dish. They can do what they want to it. So I'm gonna try a unique take on a very classic Sichuan dish, and I just got some baby cabbage to go with it, and of course a beer. So cheers everybody, we're gonna dig in and do the official taste test. Ganbei. All right guys, I'm staying behind this guy, the durian truck, and in front of him we've got the sugarcane truck. Well, I'm back out here again tonight. I was just here last night. I did not plan on coming here, but my dinner misadventures led me back out here. And so here I am, same place, different night. We've got the Monkey Kings over here. Now, these guys are tough. You don't want to mess with these guys. And there's number 3 in the group, the 3 amigos. But yeah, I'm back out here at Chongqing Pedestrian Street. And this is the nightly scene. Every night, you've got a lot going on, you know? So it's one kind of cool thing. If you're here, if you're bored, you don't know what to do, if you're lonely, you can always just come out here. I mean, there's always gonna be a ton of people, but I'm actually gonna walk back to my hotel from here. It's not that close of a walk, but the weather is quite pleasant tonight. So I did not see this last night. Looks like we've got a bit of a magician over here. You never know what you're gonna see out here, but you'll always see something interesting. And at night in China, it's kind of like a light show, because no matter where you look, it's just, I mean, look out in the distance, everything's lit up. And when I'm traveling, I'm always on the lookout for interesting names. I know I probably seem pretty sarcastic in this video, but I always am. Well, we've got a little duo here, okay? We've got the One Hand Barber Shop, which is where they are well known for cutting your hair with only one hand, okay? Now above that, we have Traveling with Hotel. So when you travel, the hotel actually goes with you. As I walk and work my way back toward my hotel, I'll kind of just wrap things up a little bit with my thoughts on Chengdu, because I'm leaving here tomorrow morning. So for all intents and purposes, this trip to Chengdu is over. I've got another day in Chongqing, so get ready. You're gonna have another Chongqing video on the way. Well, I'm gonna hold that thought until I get to a place with slightly better scenery. Okay, this area looks a little bit better. So, kind of my final thoughts on Chengdu, and it still is just a first impression because I've only spent a couple days here, you know. I'm just really scratching the surface on the city. But what I can say is I like it a lot. You know, if I could start from scratch and start my whole China experience from the very beginning, I would probably choose, well, let's just say this would be on my top 3 list of places to choose. Whether it be Chongqing or Chengdu, the natural scenery out here is awesome. The people are quite friendly, and they don't seem so nationalistic like they do up in the Northeast. I mean, I know they are, but they tone it down a little bit to where they're still cool, you know? They don't seem to have that chip on their shoulder that a lot of people in the Northeast often seem to have, which is, you know, it turns people off. People down here have been really, really cool to me, and this region right here, it's got some of the best food in all of China. So in terms of food, you know, this is one of the best places you could possibly be in the whole country of China. And like I've told you before, you know, if you talk to any Chinese people and ask them which region of China has the most attractive females, anybody you ask is going to say Sichuan. It's going to be usually #1 on the list. Now, I never knew that because I'd never been here previously. Well, after being in Chongqing for a couple days and in Chengdu, Sichuan for a couple days, I can say honestly that I have to agree. I mean, from what I've seen, I really have seen a lot of extremely attractive females. And I've seen a lot of handsome guys. I say that confidently as a heterosexual male. You know, it's a good-looking populace out here. They have a lot of nice features. They're friendly. They got some of the best food. They got some of the best natural scenery. You know, of course, there are some drawbacks like the humidity and the heat in summer. It can get pretty brutal. And with that high level of moisture in the air, winters can also be bone-chillingly cold. I've spent a lot of time in the far north of China, where it's the coldest place in all of China. But it's a very dry cold. Now down here in winter, it's gonna be a very humid and wet and moist cold. And to me, that's the most uncomfortable type of winter that you can find. I don't think y'all can see this, but this is pretty interesting. We got a big building over here and then a construction looking area. It looks like they haven't started construction. It's just a big, like, there's a big hill over there, and then over here it's all just, it's almost like a lake. It looks like stagnant, moss-covered water. And as I was just walking down the street, I found these little like business cards. It's actually just a call girl card. Say that 10 times fast, call girl card. And this is a phenomenon that you'll see all across China. Like when you're walking down the street, you'll see certain areas where they have these cards and they just toss a whole bunch of them on the ground. So I just picked this one up to share with you guys. Now I know a lot of guys are thirsty, lonely, looking for love in all the wrong places. But I gotta say, if you are stupid enough or crazy enough to actually call one of these numbers, I really don't know what to say. Because yeah, you might actually get a female on the other end of the line that, you know, comes and makes you feel happy, makes you feel good for a little while. But what you might get is a police officer on the other line, because that is the perfect way to do a phishing operation. I think you would have to be absolutely insane to actually call one of those numbers. I apologize for doing repeats because I was just here last night. The whole dinner thing threw off my plans entirely, put me in a completely opposite end of town. But you're getting a different view because it's getting late. You got Mao over there in the spotlight. And you can see these guys are working over here doing some gardening, planting new flowers. They're doing it at night when the public is at home resting. And this is an interesting glimpse inside of the work that it takes and the people who do the work to make these parks and gardens in China look awesome. Because, I mean, look at that. And this is, all over China you'll see stuff like this, you know, because they really do take pride in their parks and in their squares and public areas. They want it to look nice. So you can see the people that are doing the work. It doesn't just happen naturally. You got people out here working late at night, sweating, working hard. And when the morning comes, we get to enjoy the fruits of their labor. They do have a surprisingly large police presence here. Not sure what that's all about, but I mean, look at this. It's a lot of cops. Hey you guys, good morning once again from Chengdu. Oh, we're wrapping things up today. I'm on my way to the train station. Got a train to catch. Got plenty of time, but I've also got a lot of stuff to carry. And this is looking like a crowded train. It's gonna be a sweaty, sticky experience. Well, I got lucky and got a seat, which not most people aren't getting one. Just purely lucked out. And luckily, the temperature, surprisingly, considering all the people, the AC is pretty good on here, so it's not like humid or sticky or anything. All right, I made it today with a little bit more time to spare. Might even have a chance to buy a little breakfast to eat on the train, but we'll have to see. It's pretty crowded around here. When you come in here, just look how massive this is. I mean, it's absolutely huge. You can see these platforms, there's one after the next, and they go all the way down. Well, I think today I'm gonna go with Tim Hortons, just to show some love to all my Canadian subscribers out there. To be honest, Tim Hortons in China, I thought it was gonna be really good, because I'd never had Tim Hortons before, but it was very mediocre. Walked in here, they're playing Tim McGraw, not what you'd expect to hear in China. And now they're playing Tracy Lawrence. Wow, you gotta be kidding me. Now they're playing Keith Whitley in here? Hey, it's worth it coming here just for the jukebox here at Tim Hortons. They're playing all the country gold. I told her I loved her and I wanted to stay, but she said be sure, call you in LA. Well, after hearing all that good music they're playing in Tim Hortons, I'm an instant fan. And they're just loading us in like a herd of cattle. All right, Tim, let's see how you turned out. Now, this little breakfast combo right here costs just a bagel sandwich, chicken, and coffee. That was about $8 US, so not exactly cheap. Yeah, overall not too bad. I mean, the bagel's pretty good. Grains and seeds. And we got some chicken and eggs and cheese on there. So yeah, not a bad breakfast. Gives my intestines a chance to rest a little bit from all this spicy food I've been eating down here. All right, guys, we've made it back to Chongqing, and I'm just getting my stuff. We're getting off the train. Chongqing, I'm back. I've missed you so much. I'm back. Chongqing, I'm back. This is a shopping ba station, and as soon as you get out, you just can't help but to notice the unique scenery here in Chongqing. Just take that in for a second. That's pretty cool. Hills everywhere. It feels like everything's on different levels, and then out in the distance you see the mountains. And as soon as I get here, I can feel the difference in terms of heat and humidity. It is significantly hotter and significantly more humid here in Chongqing than it was in Chengdu. Again, not that bad of a view just from taking the subway. This is a dude that knows how to relax. Now this is an interesting transfer, and kind of, I'll just say kind of an inconvenient transfer. It's not like it's a big deal, but I'm sure so many out-of-towners get confused by it, because to transfer you have to go to the window, show them your card, you know, your ticket that you bought for the subway, and then they manually let you out, and you have to actually leave. And we're back over here at Guanyanqiao. If you saw my previous Chongqing videos, you would have seen this place. It's one of the main 2 pedestrian streets here in Chongqing. So you actually have to come out of that station and walk over here. So I mean, once you're used to it and you know the system, it's no big deal. But for out-of-towners, I'm sure the workers there get tired of, you know, people coming out the wrong station and all that, and having to help them and replace their ticket. I've got to say that's the most awkward, confusing, and kind of ridiculous subway transfer I've ever seen of anywhere I've ever traveled. I think at some point they probably need to fix that. Got this massive roundabout, and to cross the street you've got to go through this underground tunnel. So let's see what's hiding in this underground tunnel. Looks like we got a lady selling fans and flowers, an umbrella just sitting right in the way. Oh, I thought that I had crossed the street here. This is interesting because it's got all these underground tunnels, and right now we're under a bridge, and they've got this little square set up just for people to hang out, and that's different, kind of cool. I'm just trying to cross the damn street. Look where that tunnel led out. Yeah, so look, just trying to cross the street, it led me over here to this big shopping complex. So I had to come upstairs to come over here, and then it leads me to an escalator that doesn't work. E-bike city, baby. In this video, we're not checking out the usual spots that you'll see in videos about Chongqing. If you want to see some of those, you can look at my previous videos about Chongqing. I went to a lot of those spots. Today, I'm just gonna walk around different areas and show you what the average area in Chongqing looks like and how the common people live. You can see there's a residential building here. It's kind of interesting looking. You're gonna get a different look at Chongqing in this video than you will anywhere else. It's so interesting to me seeing these old apartment blocks. You just look at how many units there are, and you have to wonder how many families live in there. And I like these because they're not all new and fancy. They got that kind of rugged Chinese look that I like. Here's one really cool feature of Chongqing, just how the levels change so quickly. I mean, we're just down here, there's the street, and you just walk a few meters over here and it's gonna shoot you straight up. We got these old homes. Oh, finally some shade. I've been walking in the sun the whole time. It's 39 degrees Celsius. I think that's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit plus high humidity. So needless to say, it's hotter than hell out here. Another case in point as to why it's easy to take a wrong turn or get lost or just go the wrong way in Chongqing. I'm looking at the map and I wanted to be walking next to that waterway, and I thought I was, but upon careful inspection of the map, I need to eventually go that way to get where I'm going. Well, this only lets me go that way. So I've got to go backtrack all the way back, go just a few meters and go down and then walk along that, because even though I'm so close to it, I'm almost right over top of it, I just simply can't get down there because of the difference in height. I mean, look, I'm way up here. Even though I'm so close, I'm literally like 1 meter over, but I've got to get down there is the thing. And this has happened to me several times in Chongqing, and it makes for a lot of backtracking and a lot of, you know, wasted time. But I still think it's cool because I like the different levels. I like the layout of the city. I like all the mountains and hills. I think it's beautiful. And it's really, really unique. This is where I went the wrong way. I needed to go down this way, but I just kept going that way. And you can see it's right. It's literally just the same road, but difference in elevation. But ultimately, that will take me a completely different way than this will. So just now, I was way up there. So now we're back down here by the little waterway, little canal or whatever it is. Got a guy down there. It looks like he's setting up to do some live streaming. It's got a pretty good spot. Not too many people are gonna bother him down there. So have I convinced you all yet that this is not the Chongqing that you'll see in the other videos that are flooding the YouTube sphere? This one's gonna be a lot more authentic and a lot less propaganda-ish. Just show you the real, true Chongqing. And of course, Chongqing is separated into many different areas. Each area has its own feel. We're in the Jiangbei area right now. We're still here next to the river. We've got this little place over here. You got this cliff, and then up above it, you got apartment towers built. I love the topography here. It's really, really unique. A lot of hills. They're great for exercise. There's a little cat, looks like he's waiting to pounce on something. Hey buddy, he spotted me. Wow, that was pretty interesting. I just met a local guy who was drinking San Bien Bujo, which is Chinese 3-penis wine. It's not actually wine, it's like a type of liquor, and it's got, literally has the penis of 3 different animals in it. He was drunk off that, and he was trying to get me to drink it, and and I talked to him for about 20 minutes. He was trying to get me to come to his house and stuff and eat and drink, and it was nice of him, but I could tell he was definitely intoxicated, and I've got a lot of ground to cover. What is going on here? Why are these yurts or whatever they are just randomly placed here? Shoot, I think I hit a dead end. I hope this connects. If not, I've got to go back and I've got to pass that drunk guy again, which would be a little bit awkward. Really hoping I can get out of here. Okay, thank goodness. I still have to backtrack a little bit, but I was able to get up here to the main road. So now I can just backtrack and pass the guy again, but this time I'll be above him and he won't even see me. See, just now I was down there. See, I'm just here going for a leisurely walk, a leisurely stroll down the sidewalk. But if you look over to my right, we're way up here. That's some pretty crazy foliage there, huh? I like it though. Wow, look at those trees. Look at all that, those long like vines dangling. I'm not really sure why, but I like these ant statues. This one's pretty big. Little baby ant over here. So directly across the way, I've stumbled upon Liangjiang Software Park. It says it's the Digital Innovation Park. So I guess this is the Silicon Valley of Chongqing. Well, after about 10 kilometers of walking, a lot of hills, a lot of stairs, I'm pretty tired. My legs are kind of, well, my dogs are barking, you could say. But I'm approaching one of my destinations for today, which is this mountain forest park. I'm out here walking on the edge, the outskirts of the park, just kind of circling it. I'm going to enter over there, but you can see it's all bamboo. Now that's what I'm talking about.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Just a quick message from yours truly, Mr. Chopsticks. Memberships are now open on my YouTube channel, and memberships start from as low as $1. Perks for being members include exclusive videos every week, unique emojis, loyalty badges, and shoutouts. Patreon memberships are also available. Patreon includes the same exclusive content as YouTube memberships, but also features everything from blog posts and photos from daily life to help with learning Chinese and trip planning assistance. If you want to take your support for the channel to the next level, please check it out. Links below. Okay, now back to the video.
Did a lot of walking to get here. No telling how many calories I burned. And also with the heat and just sweating. And I'm carrying a heavy bag right now. Damn, I can tell this place is new. Got some guys out there swimming. But you can see how new this is. Everything looks really fresh. And in this location, you can see, I mean, it doesn't get much of a crowd. So it's kind of nice to be here just away from people with nice natural surroundings. Because these past several days, well, basically every day, you know, living here in China, there's a whole lot of people in China. So when you get these chances to be in some nice, beautiful surroundings in a really peaceful, natural environment, these chances don't come that often. It's always a good feeling. You got this old fellow up here just getting started. I can tell you, with how hot it is out here, that would feel so good to be in that water. I almost want to just take off my shirt and jump in. I'm not lying. It's tempting, but I'm not going to do it. Now this lake right here, if you look at it here on my phone's map, you can see it's shaped kind of like, you know what I mean. It's funny, right here it says in really bold characters, swimming is strictly prohibited. Look, it's loaded with swimmers. It is a beautiful park though, and the best thing is there's basically nobody around. I don't have to hear anybody's music. I don't have to hear anybody's conversation. So this to me is kind of like a hidden gem here in Chongqing. Your typical tourist is going to do all the touristy things, and that's fine, that's great. I've visited a lot of those places as well, but I like to switch it up sometimes and just veer off the usual path and just see what we see. Like, to me, I'm very, very happy that I made this decision. Thoroughly enjoying this. Oh, that's just beautiful, huh? Peaceful. Got all this beautiful natural bamboo out here. A few of the workers out here. All right, guys, I'm starting on the stairway of death. Look at that. It just goes on and on as far as I can see. Oh, I'm gonna be so wiped out today. I mean, I'm already wiped out, and this certainly isn't gonna help. Oh gosh. I might just collapse. They might have to send the rescue team out here for me. All right, guys, I have conquered the stairway of death. There's an interesting place to go. You can go to the spring of filial piety to Mother. I don't know, guys. I'm starting to not really trust this map. Somehow, I don't feel good about this. Come on, there's no way. According to the map, there's supposed to be a trail that goes right through here and gets me to the other side of the mountain. It's the only real cut through to the other side, the other entrance. And as you can see, there's definitely no trail. Far from it. Just a big drop off. There's a stairway over here, but it leads to absolutely nowhere, as you saw just now. You know what that means? I'm gonna have to backtrack. They've got these little kinds of berries or something that are falling from the trees. They remind me of close-ups of the coronavirus germ. Remember that? I mean, it looks pretty similar. Okay, I found this last little path. I think this might be it. The map was just a little confusing, but I think I got it. Oh man, will I be happy if this is it. According to the map, it's looking good. Well, I'm starting to feel just confident enough to say I think it's all going to work out. Looks like I finally got on the right trail, and wow, it was worth the effort, because not a soul up here. Crushed bamboo. This is really cool. I love hiking. I've hiked a lot of places, and I can say that this is different than anywhere that I've hiked. Okay, I think we're starting the descent, which is a good thing, because like I said, I love hiking, but unfortunately my knees don't love it that much. And I'm doing okay right now. I don't feel any pain, but I do have arthritis in my knee. I've had it since I was 30. Reason being, I grew up skateboarding. I used to skateboard 7 days a week, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, jumping off stairs, even rooftops. And let's just say I put my body through the ringer for a very long time, and that's why one of my knees is bad. But I'm surprised it's feeling perfectly fine right now. But the thing is, once it starts hurting, it progressively gets worse really quickly. And if pain's going to start, it's usually going to start from going up something, like what I'm doing again. I spoke too soon. I thought I was on the descent. It was just a couple of rolling hills. Looks like I went down a little bit, but I'm going up even higher. But the knees are holding out, knock on wood, or knock on bamboo, maybe I should say. I knew there were some more stairs ahead, but I didn't know it was going to be the twin brother of the stairway of death. Wow. Well, there's the last of the stairway of death. Woo! Oh, it feels good. I enjoyed it, but I'm glad to be right here. Looks like the map turned out to be correct, so my apologies, my mistake. And now we just take this, and it will lead me out of the park. Because guys, I need to hydrate. I'm like a man in a desert. I've been trying to conserve this little tiny bit of water I got left. Oh, what is this? Oh, what is this green moldy? Oh, what is that? My goodness. Wow, that's crazy. And I like how there's a stairway into it, like somebody's gonna walk into that. Let's catch a little sneak peek of some of that scenery. You wanna see something cool? Look at this bamboo, how it just grows up and kind of curves and leans over and forms this canopy. Yikes, that's pretty scary. Because I'm up here, I'm holding onto this tree just in case I slip on these leaves, but there's nothing to catch you. If you fall off, you're going straight down. There's the gate. What an adventure it's been, but I can't tell you how happy I am to see that. I am so damn thirsty. Okay, today we're gonna try something you've gotta have while you're in Chongqing or Sichuan Province. It's called Chuan Chuan. What it is it's little skewers, but you cook them in a hot pot. So basically, you're taking two of China's favorite snacks, those little mini skewers that they have, and hot pot, and you're mixing them. So this is essentially the same kind of broth and soup that you would use to cook a standard hot pot. And here you go and get your own food. I chose this place because business is good and fun experience. Food's probably good too. If this many people are coming, the food's got to be pretty good. And then you go over here, and this is how you work out the prices. It's color coded, you see? And then you've got all different types of skewers here. Beef, mutton, all types of vegetables, lotus root potato, all kinds of stuff. You just get yourself a tray and go to work. I'm gonna get a couple potato ones, of course. Lotus root, one of my favorites. I got some chicken feet down there. If you look over here, got some fresh brain. I think I might skip that though. All right guys, sorry I skipped the brain. But I've got all kinds of vegetables, got some meat, some cilantro wrapped in beef, bamboo shoots, lotus, mushrooms. Oh, now much like hot pot, over here, it's the same. You gotta prepare your sauce and they use a lot of the same ingredients. Sesame paste, chili oil, cilantro, garlic, all kinds of stuff. It's essentially the same setup as a hot pot restaurant. So we've got our sauce ready. Sorry about the noise, guys, but that's part of the Chinese experience. It's packed in here, everybody's having a good time. Now you just start putting your skewers into the hot pot and just let them cook. You gotta be able to time it a little bit because some stuff can stay in there a long time, like mushrooms and tofu, they can stay in there for a long time. Bamboo can stay in there for a long time. Meat, you don't want it overcooked. This, I think this is donghua. Yeah, this is donghua winter melon. Now this can't stay too long because it will get too soft and kind of fall apart. So first I'm gonna put this stuff in there that can cook a long time with no worries. Lotus is okay too. Start with that and I'll put a little bit of meat in there too because I'm gonna eat that first. Let's get some of these beef and cilantro ones. Yeah, that looks good. Beef and cilantro, baby. And just let them cook for a minute. In the meantime, cheers, guys. Hope you all are enjoying the video. Glad to have you here. This one's for you all. Oh, that's ice cold. That's so good. I really want you all just to try to take this in for a minute. When we talk about a dining experience, this is one of the fun parts about China. It's noisy, it's crazy, everybody's having fun, drinking beer, eating good food, having a great time. Hey guys, it's the following morning here in Chongqing. And of course, I'm getting out a little later than I wanted to. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll be fine to get my flight, but I really don't like rushing like this. Hopefully I've got time at the airport to sit down, grab a bite to eat, and relax a little bit, because once again, I didn't have breakfast today. And boy, oh boy, am I glad that I double checked my flight information, because if you look on maps and you plug in the airport, it tells you need to take line 3 straight to the airport. But when I checked my ticket one last time, I saw that I need to go to Terminal 3, not Terminal 2. The result of that is I need to take line 10, which required a transfer in the middle. So it complicated things a little bit, but I mean, that would have been disastrous if I wouldn't have double checked. That would have been a big fail for the day, and I would definitely have missed my flight. Having a little string of bad luck today because my first train, as soon as I got there, I watched it leave. Then I had the maximum wait time, which was 7 minutes. And then I got to this station and I, again, just watched the train leave. And now this time I've got a 10-minute wait. The 10 minutes, now that right there is 17 minutes of lost time. And when you're in a hurry, that's brutal. All right, the race against the clock. Well, my hopes of getting any food are quickly diminishing because there's a lot of people in line. Damn, that was crazy. I was reading the fine print while I was waiting in line, and I had 42 minutes until my plane departed, and it had there in the fine print that they will stop check-in 40 minutes prior to flight. So if I hadn't noticed that within those 2 minutes, I would have been screwed. Damn, that means I made this flight by 2 minutes. That's so crazy. California Burger Grill? Let's see what this is all about. I've never heard of this before. The Habit. You guys ever heard of that before? The Habit? Well, I ended up getting a chicken club sandwich from The Habit. It looks pretty good on the menu. It's got a guacamole and everything on it. I made this plane. I was the last person on board. It was the last call by the time I got here. I've had a lot of stuff working against me, but we made it a success. So we're about to take off. Well guys, I guess this is about as good a time as any to go ahead and conclude this video. We're about to take off, so I hope you all have enjoyed this little tour of Chongqing. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I've got so many more plans for the channel and a lot more content coming your way, so thanks so much for the support from my long-term supporters, Patreon, buymeacoffee.com, and everybody else. You guys are true legends. We'll catch you in the next one. Xiazi, Zaijian.
I want to give an extra special thanks to all of my YouTube members and Patreon supporters for their help in keeping this channel financially sustainable. Thanks to all of my grasshoppers and tigers, and an extra special thanks to my Pichio gang. And lastly, a huge shout out to my top tier supporters, Lee, Martin S, and David is Dawe. I see you guys, I appreciate you so much, and just so you know, you guys rock.
What do you look for beyond the sea, grasshopper?